Thanks, Connor. I'm Mags O'Brien, Life Transformation Specialist, and I work with business owners, looking at who they are as a soul and dealing with holistic mindset issues. And one of my favourites is around money, because lo and behold, it was my issue too. So before I get the PowerPoint up, just put in the chat what negative stories people can have about money, or whether they're your negative stories. So let's have a look. Okay. I can't afford it. Who put that? That's great. It's dirty to talk about money, not being able to afford it. I'm too expensive. Never enough of it, don't like talking about it. Money doesn't grow on trees. Staying grounded when one has a lot of it. Absolutely, there's loads there. So let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen. Here goes. So fire up your money energy. What we're going to cover in this session is the money monkey mind. So how our mindset keeps us playing small. Okay, so some of those things that you said, you know, you're too expensive, or things around that. Some of you said, I can't afford it. I'm actually on a one-woman mission to invite people to never say that again. So I'll go through that with you as well. And then the third thing that I'm going to go through is Team You, and how to work on your business and not in it. And that gets reflected in the first two subjects, because at the end of the day, we're here because we want to consciously grow our business and live the life we want. And that's why we became self-employed. So first of all, oh, and after that, we've got a Q&A. But if you've got a quick question about what I'm talking about, then please ask. If it's a longer question, then we'll deal with it in the Q&A, if that's okay with you guys. So we've already spoken about some of the negative money stories. So like I say, you've got your workbook here. Let me put it in front of you so it doesn't disappear behind the screen thing. What I'd like you to do is have a look at this workbook. I did drop it in the chat as well, if you didn't get a chance to print it off, or you haven't got it in front of you. So we can go through some of this now, but also it's something that you can go through later as well, because I want this to be value for you. So the first thing is, what are your negative money stories? Okay, so I've got some here like, I'm broke, I never earn what I need, I have to struggle, I have to work hard, rich people are not nice. Some favourites for business people: I want to help everyone, but I can't charge that much. There's no money in my area, or people won't pay that. So how many of you have heard those or actually said them yourself? Just drop in the chat. The link to the workbook, Rachel, is in the chat, my lovely. Okay, yeah, lots of yeses. Yeah, lots of times. Yeah, too often. Loads of yes. I always seem to be broke. Absolutely, absolutely. Lots of yeses. Oh, Christy has dropped the link in there for you guys as well. So that is fabulous. So we hear these stories a lot. What I want to ask you is, just bear with, is this really true for me? Okay, because sometimes we can hear stories that are other people's stories, other people's experiences. So that's the first question. is this really true for me? Is it what people have passed down to me, like rich people are not nice? You always have to struggle, you always have to work hard. You know, has that come from your parents, your teachers? Now, I'm not throwing these people under the bus. You know, it's how we get conditioned, it's how we learn. The other aspect could be, well, actually, yes, it is true for me. This is from my experience. You know, it's been my experience that I never earn what I need, or that I have to struggle, or that I work hard, or have to work hard to get my money. And what I would ask there is this, yes, it has been true in the past from your experience, but is there something that you can change? Is there something that you can do differently if you thought about it? So has anybody got any ideas on that? Oh, thanks, Simone. Has anybody got ideas of what you could do if, like your experiences, I always have to work hard, or I don't have any money, and I'm always struggling? What can you do differently? Does anybody want to shout out or chuck something in the chat? Phil, absolutely. Yeah, because sometimes we don't charge enough, or we think people won't pay that, and things like that. And again, it's about value, not how much it is per hour. So thank you for that. There's loads coming in the chat here. Let's have a look. Yeah, find a side hustle that brings in passive income. Think differently. Who's that? Steve? Yeah, absolutely. Jackie says, when people tell me they want additional income, they also tell me they don't have time. Yeah, and again, it's looking at things differently, you know, and making the time. Simone says, I changed one of my mantras to a really positive one, and that helped. Samantha, to think differently, you go towards what you focus on. Absolutely. Delegate to free up time. Andy, good idea. Yogesh, practice gratitude and be thankful for what you have. Absolutely. Kim, change the way you talk about yourself. Absolutely. Jeanette, budget and see where you're spending money, and if it's giving you value or a good feeling, and stop spending in those areas that are wasteful or don't give you pleasure. I'm a great fan of that one, Jeanette. That's brilliant. Becky had conflicting money messages because one person was generous and another was a miser. Mindset, loads and loads of ideas. That's absolutely brilliant. So the overriding thing there is to think differently. Okay, and the action steps for this one is, what can I do now? The whole point of this process is to be conscious of what you're thinking, conscious of habits that we just do. You know, it's like when if somebody says they don't have the time, is that just a knee-jerk reaction? Or, you know, it's like, okay, you say you don't have time. Do you really want this? And if you really want this, how do you make the time? And not allowing the monkey mind to take over. So the monkey mind is that part of us that wants to keep us safe. Okay, we all have it. It's natural, and it's usually the first thing that comes up. So, you know, don't be hard on yourself if you get that initial reaction. But the whole point of this is to be conscious of when it comes up. And it's like, okay, thank you. You're trying to keep me safe. I appreciate that. But actually, I'd like to do something different. And then it's almost like an inner negotiation of what you can do differently, because it is a part of you that doesn't want to change. You know, at the end of the day, we want what's certain. And it's the same with your clients or customers. They want what's certain as well. So we have our monkey mind jumping up and down, and they have their monkey mind jumping up and down. It's a wonder we do any business at all, isn't it? So your action step for this then is to be aware of your negative money mind and really question it. Is this true for me? And get into it. Is it what someone else has told me? So that's easier to change, actually. It's like, oh, that's what my mum always said, but it's actually not true for me. You know, I've actually done well and I can move forward, but it's just something I say. Or it could be, yeah, that happened to me. So what can I do to change that? So they're your action steps for that one. Oops. So the result here is to actually be more conscious about the money stories that we are telling ourselves, because when we tell ourselves things like I'm broke, I'll never earn what I need, I have to work hard, those thoughts affect how we act and it affects how we respond. So I think it was Anna asking about marketing. Well, if we think that there's no money in our area or people won't pay that, how are we going to feel when we start marketing? We're not going to be starting from a great space, are we really? So this really affects all our actions that we take in our business, whether it's marketing, whether it's about to go into a sales conversation, or I call a serving conversation. How can we serve our clients? And when we're more aware of our monkey mind, we can also be a bit more aware of their monkey mind and maybe come up with maybe changing how you say things or changing your marketing in a way which will answer their monkey mind questions before they ask them. So that's the first bit there. So does that make sense, guys? If you just drop in the chat, see whether that makes sense to you. And if anybody's got any quick questions on this, I'll do a full Q&A in the last 15 minutes. But if there's any questions, let's have a look. Yes, it makes sense. Clear so far. Fantastic. Cool. Yeah, brilliant. Excellent. Thanks, guys. Okay, so step one then to fire up your money energy is to acknowledge your monkey mind and start to make changes. Okay, so then the second one, which you guys have mentioned, this is my absolute favorite. So number one, how many of you have actually said, I can't afford it? Just put me in the chat. I'll own up to that one as well. Woohoo! Yeah, loads. Absolutely. We all do it. It's something, the old me. Absolutely. Okay, so my second question to you then is, how many of you heard your clients say it? So answer yes to that one. Have your clients, customers, people you're selling to said it? Haha, yes. Loads and loads of yeses. Cool. Okay. Oh, not yet. Oh, well done, Becky. Yes, people did some people pulled their horns in when the pandemic came in, because again, it's like, what the hell is happening? It was that monkey mind that says, I'm not safe, I'm not spending any money. So then I can't afford it. You know, I need help, but I can't afford it. I need someone to do my accounts, but I can't afford it. I need my social media doing, but I can't afford it. I need admin help, but I can't afford it. I need a new laptop, but I can't afford it. So what's this going to do to your business? It's going to keep you stuck. So question for you then, what does I can't afford it really mean? Does it really mean that people can't afford it? Yes or no? Chuck it in the chat. Let's see what you have to say. Cool. Mindset. Yes, yes. No, no. Yes. They can't figure it out. No, no. Means it's not a priority, not necessarily a priority. Don't value it. Absolutely. Sometimes I don't want to afford it. They only see the cost and the not value. Perhaps they can't afford it now. Stalling. Yeah, absolutely. So lots of great answers there. Scared of spending the money. Absolutely. So I can't afford it is generally one of two things. As you guys quite rightly said, they're not seeing the value. Okay, they're not seeing the value of what you are offering on how it helps them to solve a problem. So that's down to us. We're either not marketing well, or we're not listening well enough, or we need to reposition things a little bit differently. It's also going back to that monkey mind, and some of you said it's like a knee-jerk reaction. It's that monkey mind saying, I don't want to change. I don't want to change, so I say I can't afford it, so therefore I don't make that commitment. And also, as some of you said, it's not a priority right now, but they could afford it if they really, really wanted it. So let me ask you guys another question then. If there's something you really want to do and you haven't got the money sat in the bank, but you really, really want to do it, do you find a way? Answer me in the chat, yes or no. Yeah, 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 absolutely. Yeah, yeah, of course, absolutely. So guys, that's your answer there. So I can't afford it means that it's not meaning enough to you right now. And that's what, when your clients say it to you or your customers say it to you, that's what they're also saying, because when they really, really, really want it, then they will find a way. And when we go back to that monkey mind that says, there's no money in my area, people won't pay, that's not actually right. Again, that's your mindset, trying to keep you small and play safe. We, as entrepreneurs, we will find a way to afford what we want. And it's for us to give others the opportunity to do the same thing. So I will invite you to look at things a different way. So two things. If you really want to do something, you could ask yourself the question, how can I afford it? Because when you say I can't afford it, if you think about it energetically, I can't afford it, bang, it shuts the door. It's like, I can't have, okay? But if you turn it around and say, this is something that I really want, how can I afford it? How does that feel? Okay, it feels open and it feels invitational. Okay, so how can I afford it? And what I've put in your workbook is a little exercise, called 20 ways. So if there's something that you really, really want, you can put how much the investment is on the top, and it's like, do a brainstorm on ways that you can afford things. And some of them might be daft, but it doesn't matter. Let the brain go. And really, you know, the first 7, 8, you might be able to do really easy. After that, it gets more challenging, which means that you can get more creative. So guys, back to the chat. if you really wanted to, afford something, what would you do? Chuck it in the chat for me and I'll read it out. Okay. Save up for it, Kim. Make it happen. Credit card. Oh yes, I love the credit cards. Sell things. Look where I could save money. Cut back on something else. Sell more to cover the price. Absolutely. How many clients would that be so that I could pay for that? Okay. Budget, plan, save money, get creative, crowdfund, redo your budget, see if you could get a discount, save, put up your fees, bank loan, lots and lots and lots and lots of ideas there, guys, coming through on the chat. Let's just move that out of the way. So there's lots of ways that you can afford it if you wanted. And again, some really great ideas there. I always have, I'm not going to lift my computer up because it'll make a mess of everything, but under my computer here, I have my expenses. So I know exactly what my expenses are. And so therefore I've got a relief point, and I call it that because it's a relief when you hit it. And it's a celebration when you go beyond it. But when I know what that relief point is, then I can plan for my next, whatever it is I want next. And as someone rightly said, it's like, how many clients is that? How many customers is that? How many sales is that? So that I can move that up to the next level. So when you really want something, it's like, how can I afford it? And that 20 ways is a good way of working it through. So is that making sense so far? Just let me know in the chat box. Yep. Brilliant. Great stuff. So that's if it's something that you really want. The next one then is, what if it's a nice to have? So for me, I want to go to the Maldives for a month, but I don't say I can't afford it. Okay. What I do say is I actually can afford it. I could get the money together. I could stick it on a credit card. I could loan some money or what have you, and I could go to the Maldives for a month. However, when I come back, there will be consequences, and I don't want those consequences, like I have bills to pay here, or I wouldn't be working. So the other way of dealing with this, rather than going, I can't afford it, it's I can afford it, but I choose to. So I can afford to go to the Maldives for a month because I actually can. But instead, I choose to stay at home and do the work I love, but also make sure that I maintain a roof over my head and pay my bills. And again, this is not coming from I can't afford it. I actually can. But also, it's leaving that energy open for it to happen. I mean, what if somebody said to me, oh, Mags, do you want to come to the Maldives for a month and house sit? It's like, hey, yeah, I'm up for it. So as we're in BNI, if any of you know anyone, just kidding. Well, maybe not. So again, it's looking at how you can do things differently. Okay, I can afford it, but I choose to do something else instead. So the action step on that one, and some of you have already said it, is to save. Okay, now sometimes when our income or our turnover is low, people say to me, my clients say to me, oh, Mags, I can't afford to save. However, when I was like, I've learned all this because I went through quite a while of having no money and also being in a real state about it. So all this I've learned through my own experience. And what I did was I actually saved £10 a month, because in the big scheme of things, what's £10? Okay, so I opened a bank account and I saved £10 a month. And okay, that's like, you know, £120 a year, which is not a lot, but it gets that saving momentum. And then as my income increased, I increased that savings. So now I save £500 a month, not including for my tax. So you start off with £10, more if you can. But then what that starts to do, it starts to create an energy of, this is a fund that I want to do something with. It might be to go to the Maldives for a month. It might be for a holiday. It might be for something else. So I've got a car fund. When I had my last car, which was like 4 years ago, I started saving for the next one. Because when that one's ready to go, I'm not there going, oh my God, what do I do about a car? I've got a fund for my car that's built up over time. So does that make sense, guys? So this is my favorite thing. Like I can't afford it. It's really a really good one to change. So I'm just looking through the chat. So is this all making sense? Dana's saying she's taken credits a few times, but there are limits. Yeah, you know, credit card is good. But again, it's taking credit out with a proper plan on how do I pay this back? How do I get a return on investment? So if I do this coaching, if I buy this piece of equipment, if I, you know, upgrade something, what is my return on investment? And then you can make sure that you can pay it back, even if it takes like 3 years, you make sure that you can pay it back. So it's not getting credit on the never, never, because that is so stressful. And, you know, you don't want to be worrying every month, can I pay that? Can I pay that? Okay, so eBay, yeah, great. So let's have a look. Yes, it's all making sense. That's good. Excellent, good job. So that's, I can't afford it. So now you can see how these two fit together. So you've got the monkey mind giving you money stories, and then the monkey mind also plays the I can't afford it game. And when you play the I can't afford it game, it does mean that it does stifle your business, especially when you need help within your business. And the other thing I would say is that when some of this stuff has come, we've all, I guess the majority of us, or a good number of us, were employed before we were self-employed. That's the case for me. So we can pick up some of these stories when we're employed, that, you know, when our salaries are more fixed and things like that, that we haven't got that much self-determination and wriggle room to make these sort of decisions. And also some of these stories get played back to us from people who are employed. So again, it's not throwing them under the bus, it's just that they're in a different place to us. Okay, does that make sense? So the third part then is Team You. Okay, Team You. So this is the third part of the picture. So have you guys ever thought how courageous you are stepping out and creating your own business? Have you ever thought about that? You know, because it's, for me, it's a personal development and a spiritual journey. When we step out, it's us. It's our hearts on a plate. It's that vulnerability. It's saying, this is how I can help. And I think when we get in the day-to-day doing, that we forget what we've actually set ourselves for and how we face challenges and how we overcome them. And having your own business, we are more self-determined, and we do it because we want to create a life that we want to have. So when we build Team You, this is so that we can create a life and a business for our dreams. Okay, so why do you need Team You? We can't do it all by ourselves. We do, who's heard the story? When you're self-employed, you work 14-hour days, 7 days a week. Who's heard that one? And it's like, does it have to be that way? Do you have to have all the answers? Do you have to do it all by yourself? And my answer to that is no. And I know in the early days of my business, I did think I had to do it all myself, and it wasn't the happiest of places. And we get stuck in not getting people to help us because of the money monkey mind and the I can't afford it thing. So that's why they came first. Okay, so that can keep us stuck. Without team, we can't grow our business, and we can't get that time out. There'll come a space and time where we need that extra help. And not everybody who has their own business wants a massive corporation and millions of pounds and all that sort of stuff. You might want a smaller scale business, but you still need help. Okay. So what does Team You look like? What I do is, if you can get a piece of paper, and again, this is on the notes here, and sort of draw your business and draw, if you were a corporation, for example, what departments do you cover? So we're looking at your accounts, we're looking at your sales, we're looking at your marketing, we're looking at your admin, we're looking at customer service, we're looking at customer delivery. And how many of those seats say me, 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 me? How many people's businesses like that? Just drop something in the chat. Yeah, I can see the hands up there. Cool. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Most of it, but I'm getting better at delegating. Absolutely, absolutely. So if you want to know what Team You looks like, I would draw that and draw all the roles that you cover, and then say to yourself, what roles can I, as somebody said there, delegate? Not abdicate. Let me be clear here. It's not like going, oh, I don't like that, whoosh, and just lobbing it out the business and giving it to someone else without any input, because we need our energy input in there so that it is still us and that we're not just lobbing it out of the business. So, because energetically that actually can give you more trouble. So when you break down the steps, it's like, somebody can do my accounts. So for me, someone does my accounts. I mean, I'm actively involved. I give the information. I see my accounts every month. I know where I'm at with everything. And that is really, really powerful, because again, that helps with the monkey mind going, oh my God, how much am I earning? I can save for tax. And also it helps me see if I can, well, not if I can afford, but when I want to invest in something in my business, how can I afford it? Because I'm right up to date and I can see what's what. So, the accounts is a no-brainer to get that to a right person. What if marketing isn't your thing? Okay, you hate marketing, you hate Facebook, and all that sort of stuff, then you could get someone to help you with your marketing. Now, you don't have to employ somebody full time, because that gets all scary and things like that. But, you know, it's like, who's around who can help me do this specific project or this specific thing? Okay. And that can, again, help you start to delegate things out of your business. Jonathan, love it. Leo say a one-man band. I'm not going to let on for my age with that one. And again, who's saying that? Sorry. Oh, somebody said, I can't see the name because it's done something funky. I realised that I couldn't do it all and outsourced a virtual team. So yeah, you've got VAs and all that sort of stuff. And again, they can be part of your team, and you're not doing it by yourself. So you can certainly have a look at that. Now, the next question is, where do you find people? Well, for me, I mean, obviously we're in BNI, and to be honest, that's one of the main reasons I joined BNI, is because I just didn't know people. I didn't know who I could trust. I didn't know if I wanted something doing, who to ask. So it is about finding yourself in an environment like BNI that you can actually have that trusted team around you that you can say, hey guys, I need help with. Does that make sense? And this is how you can build Team You. And when you build Team You, you can build your business. You can have the business the size you want, but also look at your personal life, because are we not self-employed so that we can determine our lives and how we want our lives to be? So for me, I have a cleaner. And the budget at the moment is she comes for a couple of hours once every 3 weeks. But as things go on, she might come sooner. I have somebody do my garden because I like a nice garden, but I just don't want to spend the time doing it. But I don't want it a tatty mess either. So again, it's how can you get people in to help you and to look on the return on investment as well? Because think of it this way. If I've got somebody in cleaning for a couple of hours at £12 an hour, that's like 24 quid. And if I'm doing my delivering to my clients, I'm making more than 24 quid. So anything beyond that is a profit. So, you know, I might as well let another entrepreneur who loves what they're doing earn some money. And for me, that's a win-win. And again, this is thinking about how you can build Team You in your business, but also in your personal life. And what it can do then, it can allow you to either grow the business or go, you know what, I want time out. I want to work 4 days a week. I don't want to be working all the time. So guys, I've done quite a bit of talking on Team You. So what are your thoughts on Team You? What actions? Who said that? I wish I could get a cleaner for 12 quid. I'm in Shropshire, so I don't know where you are, Denise. So guys, what do you think to Team You? What actions do you think you could take if you want to put in the chat? Ooh, it's moving fast. Oh, Tunbridge Wells. Okay. Yeah, you could do with a cleaner. That my accountant was first, and the cleaner was second for me, absolutely, and then the gardener. Yeah, definitely outsource the less fun things, and the things that we're not good at. Anne's thinking of areas already. Outsource as much as you can. Cleaner and gardener. Yeah. Looking at where you're more productive. Yeah. Accountant and VA. Yeah. Accountant, definitely. So all the accountants on here, people are looking for you, yeah, maybe marketing. So lots that can be done there, because, you know, being self-employed, we don't have to work 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. We want to consciously create the life that we want, and we want to just stop that monkey mind from getting in the way, getting our head around I can't afford it, and not saying that anymore, and closing that energy off, and then looking how we can build Team You. Now, the action there is to identify your team and how are you going to grow it. And yeah, Dana was saying about getting some new computer tools as well, because we can automate things. So IT guys, so yeah, there's lots of things that we can do to make our life easier. And the whole point of this is that we're living more consciously. So